According to poli-sci professor Michael C. Dawson at the University of Chicago, a third-party candidate is a party that forms under a number of different circumstances around a set of issues, a platform, usually has a slate of candidates, and often runs in multiple states.
Many Americans are often plagued with the notion that they have to choose just between the Republicans and Democrats. However, this is not the case. There are many of third parties to choose from. The first largest registered third party is the Libertarian Party, which focuses mainly on the rights of the individual with minimal government oversight. Another party to choose from would be the Green Party, which focuses mainly around its 10 key values, some of which include feminism, ecological conservation, and grassroots campaigning.
Andy, this isn't a Hollister commercial, this is our political science presentation. Let me tell you about the third-party candidates in this election. In the 2016 election, there are two candidates running, Jill Stein and Gary Johnson. They weren't given a lot of attention, so it was hard for them to get more votes. Johnson is a two-time presidential candidate and the former governor of the state of New Mexico. He cut taxes in his state and is now running as president to focus on term limits. Jill Stein is a former physician and is running as the Green Party presidential candidate. She is pushing for 100% renewable energy, would make an international treaty to end climate change, and is working to reform union rights. Bet you didn't hear that on the news.
You know, Hannah, you bring up a very interesting point. What is the media's role in third parties? Well, I found that journalists tend to ignore third-party candidates because that's not typically what the majority of the population wants to hear about when they turn on the news. And that also plays a role with the televised debates that both Hillary and Trump just participated in. There's an argument that if Johnson and Stein were included, then every single third-party candidate would have to be included as well. And trust me, there are a lot. The issue would be where to draw the line, which is typically why third-party candidates are excluded from these debates. But according to this survey, more than half of registered voters do want to see third-party candidates in televised debates. This brings you to the conclusion that maybe the media thinks this is what the majority of the public wants to hear when they turn on the morning news, but maybe they're wrong, and maybe we're going to see that in the future. Now, Sarah, it's your turn. Where are you?
Oh, I didn't see you there. So 3 notable third-party candidates who overcame 3 obstacles were William Jennings Bryan, Theodore Roosevelt, and Ralph Nader. William Jennings Bryan's significance lies with the principles of electoral fusion. Initially nominated by the Populist Party, Bryan was later endorsed by the Democrats and Silver Republican parties. With 3 parties backing Bryan, Bryan's campaign demonstrates electoral fusion, meaning more than one political party can endorse a certain candidate. Another notable third-party candidate was Theodore Roosevelt. In 1912, Teddy Roosevelt ran on the Progressive Party and received 27% of the popular vote and 88 electoral votes. With this, Roosevelt managed to rank higher than Republican candidate Taft, deeming Roosevelt the most successful third-party candidate in American history. Ralph Nader allegedly handed the election to George W. Bush in 2000, after receiving nearly 3 million votes. Nader made a change for the Green Party as well, achieving ballot status in many states.
So in conclusion, third-party candidates are just as viable presidential candidate as proven by past successful third-party candidates, and the main reason why they have not succeeded is partially because of lack of media attention.